Hello there everyone, and welcome back. We are back with Eldar after what felt like forever, doing the video for preparations for Armada 2, but I am itching to get these things level 8 finally there. It won't be too much longer, but having my Voidstalker explode to death because of dang, the Void Explosion of the Orcs, I forget what the actual damn upgrade is called there, but having that thing explode in my Voidstalker did me no favors, because I think we're still, 3, maybe 4 matches away for at least one of my Eclipses and the Voidstalker get leveled up. This Eclipse here is about a match away, so it'll be good to round out the fleet there and get that done. I still have no clue what upgrade I want to throw in here. It's probably the belt armor. Let's be serious now, because that's probably what I'm most liable, at least for the Voidstalker, because I'm not exactly certain what's considered the prow on this thing, or how many fighters I might actually lose if I were to suffer a prow critical hit, but it's still useful regardless, I think, until I can come up with something better. But let's carry on with the onslaught that is to be, and hopefully I can have some more fun with this ship. Alright, there's the Elysian fella. I recognize the name. I feel like I recognize the name. I just have no idea what to expect, and we are fighting our lower Admiral level fleet, so I think the Voidstalker's out of bounds for now, but I do love to try and get at least this one Eclipse to level 8. And start feeling like I'm actually progressing as far as developing this fleet, so I'm going to stick with that there. And now begs the question, how worried am I for whatever he may be fielding? It's only 600 points, so at best he can only field like 3 Novacans if I'm really worried about that, but with all my Auroras basically level 10, I'm kind of tempted to try and mix it up a little bit. Try and get the Shadows in. I am like a few points off, sadly, for the Shadow, a second Shadow, which actually was one of the compositions I haven't used in this entire run of at least Persistent Mode Eldar. It was one of the fleet compositions I actually used a fair amount doing my ranked plays as Eldar way back after the Championship Series, mind you, but I haven't actually used it in this entire run through, trying to get my fleet up to level 8, and I'm a little bit shocked by that in all honesty. There is good synergy with the fleet, it's just probably the risk of being stuck with beacons in all honesty that's kind of making that strategy not feel very practical, if I were to be honest. Not to mention his fleet composition is really awkward itself, but I do have bombers, I do have like the potentials to deal with like at least a heavy Mars is maybe an Emperor, at least a little bit. Oh well, who am I kidding, he's Admiral level 6. I just want to spice things up, I guess, since I have no real need to use the Auroras anymore, so it's good. If nothing else, it'll be good to transition back to the double Eclipses and double Shadow strategy there, because damn, these things have been seeing no love because they're still level 6, every single one of them. They were like level 5 and level 4 beforehand, so I'm lucky I managed to get them as far as I did as far as leveling. But let's get this going. We have 7 ships, so this isn't a Novacan strategy at least. I'm really hoping he's going to put up a serious fight there, and I'll try and be generous if he's playing more passive. But I could use the practice of blind fighting if he's going to hide in the gas cloud. We kind of know where he's at to an extent. The formations again are going to feel a little weird because we only have single ships for Group 2 and Group 3. So I don't feel like they're going to have the punch that they should have. Especially since my Shadows forgot to launch his fighters. But these torpedoes, if nothing else, are going to try and reveal the ships for me. And if he does warp one out then, well, I guess I get some free experience then. And this may get cut out otherwise, but I'm going to try and put some serious effort in and try and show a little bit of mercy in the process. Because if he does hide in the gas cloud, I would love an opportunity to seriously practice some blind fighting there. Because it is really easy to fall in that trap of just like extended vision, having beacons just so I can automatically use these pulsars in the simplistic manner. Whereas the real trick, the real goal of any top tier Eldar player, if you can consider any Eldar top tier, would be to be able to fire these things manually and always hit. Especially when I have indicators like possible point defense to give away where he might be hiding. So far we've seen nothing on the left there. Okay, so we know where he's at. That was all that torpedo was meant for. So we'll see if he runs away or not. I do have extended sensors, mind you, so it's not like I'm going completely blind, but I would love to practice this some. If nothing else, the intention is to try and make sure my attack runs planned before I actually get vision. And also, let's get the Shadow up here, and the Eclipses could use a bit of a speed boost too, can't they? So he's firing at the Aurora. It's kind of interesting because he can't visually tell which are the Auroras because the torpedoes are all the same. The exact same count. But let's get our attack run going. We know... Yeah, apparently I can't do a move there, so that kind of helps me a little bit. If nothing else, to know where to strike. Oh, he's got frigates. Yeah, I forgot he had 7 ships, so that might be a bit of a thing I forgot about. But he burnt all his shield transfers, so I'm fine with that there. Now, we have stasis bombs, so... let's get this going. The good news with the Aurora, at least, it cannot get run down, at least by the cruisers. Dauntlesses and everything else might be a bit of a different story because of the extra speed on those things, but the Aurora should be perfectly safe. I just gotta make sure I use it more practically, because that Dauntless is all but dead, I think. I could salt run, I could bomb, hell, I should even just reload to get more value out of this thing. Now, let's try and destroy some more of these ships. Yeah, because there goes the Dauntless right now. Void explosion for good measure. I would love to try and kill off these frigates, because these are the big threats, if nothing else. Especially since he's kind of stopped controlling them. That's an added bonus for me there. Just fire, start cannons, finish this thing off. And if possible, just bomb the other Dauntless. Come on, just kill the damn thing. I guess I'm not going to get it. I was hoping not to waste bombers on that thing, but I guess I don't have little choice in the matter. And of course I set the bombers after the wrong target. So that's helpful, but we'll jam that, we'll get value. Well, I kind of double jammed, so that's kind of a little questionable as far as a play, but the frigate was still spotting me, so I felt like it was a good decision at the time. So he is warping out his ships there. Okay, I guess he can see it. Nothing very exciting, I suppose. No, he did feel like 4 cruisers though, so it's not like as frigate swarm as I was kind of feeling for a little bit. But yeah, if he tries to run me down, at least with the cruisers, and I at least have the Aurora's mobility to easily get on out. I would just have to kind of anticipate that maneuver first though. So that way the Aurora can sort of serve as that bait. Keeping the Eclipses kind of safe, because if they get in aggressive, if they were the ones to go in first, that would have been a lot more awkward for me. Without a doubt. Because they wouldn't have had the speed, at least not yet. It's not a drastic difference, mind you, but... what is it? They have like 260 type speed, roughly. So that does add up quickly when you consider that my target's boosting at me with a bunch of frigates and light... what is it? Dauntlesses that are going 180 speed. Even more so if he, for whatever reason, had the Minoza pattern drive for the extra speed boost. So it is really awkward, at least for the shadows and the eclipses there, because if I ever turn around, then I'm basically getting rammed to death, so that is one problem with grouping up my Eldar ships as they are. But against the cruisers, I feel comfortable, I feel safe that I'm not going to die at least to a ram attempt. Maybe torpedoes if he gets so close and I don't have like a Wraithbone ship available to kind of just boost out of the way. But otherwise, the Auroras are kind of meant for that kind of play. I just didn't have them for that match, because normally I would have like 3 of them. At least for a 700 point battle, so I feel like my base would have been covered if I went with the traditional fleet. But I do want to get back into playing with the double eclipses and double shadows actually. And we did get our level 8, so I guess we'll do the safe thing, the smart thing, just get the belt armor, just preserve ourselves from random critical hit just ruining my day. Because the generator destruction could be pretty bad, considering that cuts my holofield strength down in half immediately. Never mind the speed loss. But one of the ideas I was actually planning with this was maybe for level 10, what is it, the solar sail upgrade? No, that's not it. The dragon sails, increasing speed by 25 for my shadows and the eclipses, because then the speed basically becomes 287, which is so damn close to the Aurora speed that it synergizes well, I feel, as well as it alleviates a lot of the problem I was talking about with at least Imperial Navy and Orc fleets there. They can't run me down effectively with how close I have to get if I want reliable torpedoes at least. That's the thought process at least. It remains to be seen if it's a good idea though, but I love the potential the Eclipses and Shadows will be going almost the same speed, giving them the same kind of strength while having the more power and health to at least be the front line that I need them to be. Well, all hail the Omni Sign, I guess, in this case. Although he's not Admiral level 7, which kind of disappoints me, maybe? Considering he's the Emperor and all, but nonetheless, I am content to try and play more with the blind fire tactic there and more with these shadows, I guess, but with 600 points, we're going to be going with more of the same, I think. So let's try and get this one shadow to level 7. I'm kind of hesitant to field my Auroras again because it's kind of unnecessary and I like to spice things up, but I do like the extra damage potential, and it serves as a nice scouting bait, especially since it's the only ship with actual extended sensors, mind you, so it's kind of warranted in this case, isn't it? If only a little bit. Although, I could see a little bit of value in like 2-3, well, it's really 2 Hellborn there, but without a false maneuver to easily disengage with the macro batteries of the Imperial Navy, they probably can die really damn quickly if they get a lucky hit, let alone a lucky critical hit, considering their frigates and all, so they only suffer like fire assaults or hull breaches, which would be a godsend if they could just suffer engine damage in that situation. But we're going to play with this a bit more, and if I can get a 700 point battle, I'm going to try and remember what I found what I was so fond of with this Double Shadows, Double Eclipse strategy. Although, to be fair, I don't think my Eclipses actually had the all-the-way favor for ranked mode. I had a really interesting type of setup because I only went with like maybe 2-3 upgrades on every single one of my ships, and then I spent the rest on all favors. I just couldn't remember if the Eclipses had the all-the-way favor or not as well, because all my Auroras did. My Shadows sure as hell had the CM hand favor, so I was covered on all fronts except for maybe the Eclipses there. It's really hard to say, but nonetheless, there was... I remember fond memories of the dual shadow, dual eclipse strategy. I just can't remember what its function was, aside from maybe trying to jam them and get a little more aggressive. But again, recon beacons is a bit of a problem there with how easily they can stick beacons on me. But I guess that was also part of the point, having 2 Sam-hand phantom disruptions. I can kind of jam them before I get within even beacon range, so it's forcing him to use them kind of like to spot me, let alone and not so much to stick onto my ship, so maybe that's part of the reason. Okay, so he's got, what is it, 3 Novacans? That sadly did hit, but that's fine there. That's fine on that regard. Let's try and do some damage. So that had to be what, 3 Novacans then? And we do have the Eclipse to soak damage, at least. It's just a question of how I want to play this now. Because do I use the Shadow for bait? Because I can do that. I could play a bit of a slow game, try and get some chipping damage on the torpedoes. Because it's 7 ships again there. I have the health points on the Eclipse. It's the Aurora that's a bit of a liability, but with the Void Blend, this is actually useful. But it still remains to be seen. Can he actually is aware of my movement or not? That I could not tell you, because this could time badly if he fires just as I'm turning into him. Let's see. Until the end. The void is our home. So just disengage quickly. We'll try and serve this Shadow as bait some. I would like to soften him up some if he is actually going to just dedicate to these Novacans. Or at least strike after he fires them, ideally. When I'm within striking distance, so... Let's see. We're not getting much torpedo hits there, but I'm kind of fine with that. I haven't seen any detection just yet, so that doesn't mean he has a Widowmaker. He could have been just repositioning his ships, though, but I don't see any detection still. So let's get on going. It is sadly only a sword, mind you, so it's not all that exciting just yet. So there goes all the Novacans. That served as a nice bait there. Now. So let's just disengage. It is only a frigate, mind you, but I'll take any kind of frigate hit or kill. Although I did mess it up a little bit still, regardless. But we have the Shadow to help in this regard. We have the Aurora in a good fire angle at least. And if it's only frigates I have to deal with, then I'll happily deal with frigates. It's having the cruisers in prime fire position that could be problematic, though. So get on going there. Now get them out, and ideally get the Shadow to clean up the mess, if possible. Because these things should die relatively quickly. I do have boarding options. And one of the frigates did die to the Maelstrom. So that's always a plus there. And these things are really cramped together, so that's not good either. It's going to mess with their control some. But let's hide everything. Repairs are going to come back up in a moment, so it's still the Shadow that's a liability. But that's going to be alleviated to an extent there. Just got to make sure... Ooh, wow. Did I seriously do that much damage? That must have been a stray torpedo fire. I'm a little bit shocked how effective that was. Considering he was investing the effort and actually dodging me. Oh, that's a shame though. I didn't get the kill. Oh well. The Aurora's kind of well equipped for shooting at the frigates because again, the pulsars being right dead in the middle makes this relatively simple so long as he's flying towards me. It's going to be a little bit trickier trying to kill otherwise because I don't have any follow-up weaponry. So boost on out. I am going to take more hits, but better than nothing. And it is dead. So it took more Nova Cannon damage than I would like, but... well, at least the Aurora is still packing there. It's still well over half health, if nothing else. Now, let's clean up our mess here. I'm just hesitant if I want to fire torpedoes now or wait. Is the real question. I think I just wait till I get in close, because you can't see these ships coming. You can kind of get a feel, maybe. But if he starts turning, that's good. So shield transfers, that's fine there. Let's just disengage, get this thing moving. And I do have Sam Hand back up in a moment, so I'll be able to hide myself as well somewhere. I'll let it go, he's doing the smart thing. But I think we're in good shape now, we just gotta be mindful of lucky Nova Cannon shots. And if it's only a single shot, that's fine. So can I at least boost out of 2 point? No. I took the full 200, so that's a little unfortunate, but now what's his response? This is one of my statements I had earlier when I fought against the 4 Nova Cannon strategy there. What's his response now? So long as I'm on his prow. At your service. Now, burn the other one. Yes, Commander. He has no Nova Cannons left. That was a bad mistake. But we do have... we have strategies here, and we can hide some more. I am messing up the controls a tiny bit, but I can flank. My Aurora can kind of hit him in the ass there some, while hopefully my Eclipses can do damage. It's only a level 3, so he better seriously consider getting it out. Because this is going to hurt like hell. That is dead, I'm sorry. You were too slow on your decision making. Now, the Aurora's in a lot of trouble though, otherwise. It took a lot of damage because it was on the side, but... as game, that was a little bit scary. In all honesty though, Nova Cannons always are. But still, they are Nova Cannons. With me having no shields to actually absorb the shots, I need to be really damn good about at least minimizing the damage. Cause hell, I felt like my Voidstalker way back in the earlier episodes, with was it the 2 or 3 Nova Cannons I had on a breakthrough mission, I felt that was horrible. Thankfully the Voidstalker had the health to tank all those hits really damn well, cause if those were my Auroras, that would have changed things completely. Because sure, they're faster and more mobile, but they're not that much faster, let's not kid ourselves. Especially if I mess up with my Wraithbone shift, or if it's off cooldown for whatever reason. But that was still a fun battle. I enjoyed the tension of it, if nothing else. even if once I killed the frigates I felt like I was at no real risk, there was still a possibility of lucky Nova hits on the Aurora. It could have still died, but from that point on, my Eclipses were in prime condition. I don't even think they were even touched. But he still didn't have beacons on there to complicate things, so he didn't have the convenience of always seeing my ship, so it's hard to say how much that would have changed things for me. Alright there, let's see what we have. We have 400 points, Space Marines data recovery. Oh, I'm Defender too, so this will be interesting. On the plus side, I don't have to worry about the boring torpedoes as much, but how do I want to do this? I would love to get my level 8 on the Eclipse there, but let's be a little more generous, I suppose. Yeah, let's try and be a little more generous. The only problem is the one thing I really dislike is falling for the kind of layout the bomber strategy kind of encourages there. Trying to bomb him at max range there, and just keeping my distance and kiting him all day, which is going to be not very interesting, but at the end of the day, I don't have extended sensors or any beacons to reliably do that. So I'll be relying on my dang, well, I'm not going to have 2 Hellborns, but I can get 2 Hemlocks. They don't have extended sensors either, mind you, so it's not really as useful as I make it sound, but this is something a little bit lighter. I have amazing burst potential against his ships, but with 2 cruisers, I feel like I can get run down, depending on what he's utilizing. And never mind the fact I'm already in the corner of the map, whereas he's right in the middle, so there's a lot less time for me to prepare in that regard. We will see. We will see. But it's a good opportunity, if nothing else, to get my lower level ships their experience in, if nothing else. And like I said, I'm kind of worried of just committing to the kite and run strategy, because in all honesty, I feel like these Shadows with their bombers and that are just as potent and close as like the Eclipses and the Auroras can be. Because think about it. The one main weakness of using bombers at range is you're giving your opponent so much time to respond to them. If you were in super close, then if you hit them or if you launch them at an isolated target, it's almost as effective as torpedoes, potentially more so considering they go straight after the ship, as opposed to torpedoes where you can easily miss. But if the last match was any indication, even if I missed the frigates horribly, they still apparently did damage to the cruisers behind them, so I don't know what to make of that. I do need to be mindful of, data recovery too, so he could easily lightning strike me and do damage that way, but these Hemlocks are a huge weakness, a huge liability there. If anything, let me try and wait until my bombers are back up before I commit to anything, because he's got a lot of bonus points too, let's not kid ourselves. If this was an even fight, maybe I could feel confident doing a straight up battle with him. But with my Hemlocks with only a single upgrade, because I never bothered to kind of upgrade him with anything further, mind you. Actually, I don't think I want to get super close just yet, but because I was hoping to jam them before I attack with the Hemlocks, because they're easy targets. But they are identified here. Actually, let's go after the frigates. They're the best candidates for these bombers. Let's just try and jam everything, although maybe a bad idea. Let's see if we could kill these things quickly. Although boosting with 2 of these ships was a bad idea, wasn't it? I was hoping to turn more before boosting. But I do have fighters, we have bombers shooting them down. So do we kill both the Novas? We kill one at least. But we have yet to kill the other one, which is going to be a bit of a pain to do. And we got some more good damage there, but no way to follow it up unless I want a lightning strike. That's the only thing I could think of. Finish it off with some lightning strikes. But that's what, a 30% chance? It's very unlikely, probably a waste. And he is firing. Are those boring torpedoes? No, they're dumbfire torpedoes, so... And he nearly did me a favor there, so... Can these Hemlocks finish off the Nova at least? Because now we can get ready to strike in. He's braced for impact on everything, so actually bombers would probably be a bad idea in all honesty. But we are jammed. We are kind of... Yeah, an awkward predicament. Oh, this denies him his lightning strike. That's one thing I haven't thought about. Because his sensors are crap, he can't lightning strike and steal the data. So if I'm good about this, maybe I can actually win this in close range bout after all. Nope, I take that back. I take that back. We're going to have to deal with this thing once and for all. And ideally not Oh, oh, I had Lightning Strike on too. That was a bit of a mistake. A little bit of a mistake, but we still have time. And thankfully the bombardment cannons actually did crap there. But I could finish off these ships. I'll try and preserve them best I can, but if I'm going to play that game, I'm going to be at a huge disadvantage just because of the extra boarding he has. Especially since I auto-cast with my lightning strikes. That was a bad idea too, but they're back up. They're back up at least. Up. I don't have boarding yet, so this might hurt me some because I can't boost in time. Oh, no critical hits. Apparently he failed, so I got some real damn lucky there in that regard. How much time is left? Oh, I might as well start warping out now, shouldn't I? Although the main thing is we need to make sure we have some distance before I even commit to that. Because otherwise, lack of hull feels just sure to get me killed in a hurry. So we'll turn this around, we'll boost it out. I tried to commit to a real fight, and think somehow it went really well. A lot of it is probably because his vanguards probably had like point defense, or well, the torpedoes, mind you. It probably were not as effective as like, say, a prow bombardment cannon. Let's see, this is the Mark 1, so that's the torpedoes, right? Yep. And what about the other one, with that said? That was a Mark 3, so a Lance... Oh no, never mind, that was a bombardment cannon, so I got lucky with that thing not hitting me and causing critical damage. Because I kind of was tempting fate a little bit. But also weirdly at the same time, considering it was doing like a zigzag type of motion, that actually does help me in dodging the projectiles there. At least for the Auroras. I wasn't paying that much attention to how useful it is with the shadows, mind you, kind of going back and forth like that. Because they are a lot bigger, they are a lot slower, but for the Auroras I find, if I'm really aware of them, especially at like the extended sensor range, mind you, probably not so much for like 6,000 units or closer, I could easily turn and just straight dodge the projectiles without even investing in a false maneuver or boost. More often than not, it depends how quickly they come at me. Tau, I think, have faster projectiles. I haven't really paid that much attention, mind you, so I don't think I can do the same thing against them. But I'm going to have to pay attention to see if that actually was doing value for me, because it didn't seem like I was taking any damage for whatever reason. It felt really weird. I know we had bombardment cannons. Maybe I got lucky with the hull field. That's always a factor. But at the same time, they're bombardment cannons that get double the critical hit chance. So there's a very, very real likeliness he can just murder me and get a damn good critical hit, a crucial one, either the engines or the generator. Well, the generator may not be that big of a deal, but it's still notable considering it's affecting my hollow field. Okay, 300-point Convoy. I'm almost certain, I could be wrong, that this is the same Space Marine person I went up against before. Although I did have a match against Eldar, but my game crashed on me before we even got to the deployment screen there, so I wasn't able to play out that match as I would have liked, because that was a space station defense no less for me, so playing with that awkward space station on top of the fact that it was a mirror match would have been really weird. I would have been excited to see how that played out though otherwise, but with that said, I would love to... This is a Convoy too, and I don't actually have the points for 2 shadows, so this is going to be a daring play. A very daring play. I'm going to try it though. 3 Hemlocks and my Eclipse that's due for a level. Is this suicide? Probably. Because I have no defense for any Thunderhawks he may be sending my way. My Hemlocks are going to be very fragile. If they ever take any critical hits, that's practically like half their health gone instantly. So this is going to be on a razor's thin edge if this is going to go well. I can destroy the transports relatively well with the Hemlocks, and maybe they can chip and poke at it, while the Eclipse serves as bait maybe. That could be a strategy. It's not a winning strategy. I feel like if this was like a cruiser clash, I still feel like I'm committing suicide right now. But if the Hemlocks can just be can like put pressure on him elsewhere, force him to kind of like multitask, then I could just win just by that, I think. Of course, killing the Convoy is not going to be too terribly difficult with 3 Hemlocks. I just gotta make sure they don't get rammed carelessly. because even if I were ramming on the side or rear of the convoy, it has 200 health and they don't have the fragile trait that makes my ramming kind of inferior to everything else, so I think it's safe to say I would not want to ram it. Although I am kind of regretting not having 2 hemlocks here. Torpedoes actually would be pretty useful because of how close I can get to said convoy and actually do damage to him that way. But this is what we commit to, so let's get going. Although he is committed to one area there, and it's really damn easy to tell which is which. So let's fire some torpedoes, get this started. And the hemlocks are just going to be scary. We're going to make the Eclipse the big threat, and the hemlocks are just going to chip, kind of poke for a window at the convoy. That's the hope anyway. We'll see if it actually happens or not. And I'm kind of tempted to just reload too, kind of speed things along. This could be a mistake, but I don't think there's much value in start running if I'm going to basically be using this thing as like the main bait. And I don't know, did my torpedoes get shot down? That was some damn lucky point defense if that was the case. But I do have finally upgrades on this dang thing too, so I have extended sensors and all that good stuff. But, ooh, he has 3 vanguards, so let's just fire at these to do what damage we can. And these are bombardment cannons, so let's be careful of this. This could go badly for him. But if the Eclipse is going to get behind him, that works well for me. I'll happily do that. I just gotta look for a window for the hemlocks to try and engage. He's going to fly the stasis bomb. Now, he is running. And I think I could take a couple of Thunderhawk boarding attempts, but he is going to commit to this fully there. And I am going to take these hits. It's only 50-point damage, mind you, so let's not get too carried away. Actually, I have an idea here. Just hide. It's more damage, mind you, and my hemlocks are going to get hammered hard here, but he's going to ram himself too, so by all means then. By all means, buddy. Make my life easier, let the hemlocks do the opposite role. It looked scary for a moment, and then I messed up my torpedoes. Okay, I guess we're switching roles, as it were. I do dodge the bombardment cannon, but can I finish the job? Especially when I'm messing up my hemlock attacks. I don't want a maelstrom just yet, because I don't think it's necessary. Not until I can get, like, multiple hits. Okay, just fire. Finish this thing off. Thank you. So we only have to destroy one more. And I am a bit on fire, but that could be alleviated a bit. I just gotta be careful. If that thing explodes, actually, now to think of it, a full explosion would really suck here. Especially with how easily I'm leaving myself vulnerable right now. I lost one hemlock. He's losing control there just because of how tight the formation is, and this thing is still alive. How the hell is this thing still alive? It's probably due to repairs, mind you, which really irritates me. But, okay, he finally died. Okay. Maybe this wasn't as scary as I thought. It looks scary, but he doesn't know how to control a ship there, I suppose. Once he got all his vanguards close together, then, well, that's all she wrote, really. They just stopped trying. Well, what can I say? They just stopped working. You kind of have to use your boosters if you want to override that AI pathing, whatever you call it there. So, that was daring. I feel like any other circumstance, this would have been a horrible setup for me, because he had the right idea. He was using the vanguards to keep me away from the convoy. It's just his execution, his actual control when push came to shove, that's when he fell apart. In the end, I kind of got what I was looking for, but still. I don't know how excited I should feel about that. It was a little underwhelming. Still scary, mind you. And then he had all his vanguards ram each other, quite frankly. And then he just made it really easy for me to, if I had hemlocks, to fire torpedoes on their asses. That would have been fun. But as it stands now, I did get my level in. We are one step closer to finishing off with Eldar, at least for the time being. Now I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this Voidstalker, especially if for next episode I continue to get more low point battles. Am I willing to commit to a Voidstalker as someone who may not even have a battle cruiser yet. We'll have to see.